Awesome. All right. So we're just going to talk real quick about Satori and where we came from, where we're going. So we'll start with where we came from. And everything that I'm going to say here is just kind of my opinion, my thoughts. I want this to be a community project and everything. So this will definitely evolve past what I'm thinking, and I'm not accurate here, but it's an idea. So, okay, so this is Satori right now. It's a seedling, it's a sapling, it's barely poking its head out of the dirt, and it's a big idea, a novel approach, and it has a dedicated community. And so that's kind of the main things that I think Satori is right now. Um, it's had some growing pains in the past launch, so let's go through those. What we've been able to handle were bugs, we had some scaling issues, and we had extreme competition. So I've had a lot of sleepless nights over the past month. I'm sure a lot of you have. But now things are looking a lot better. We've eradicated the big bugs. There's always going to be bugs because it's the nature of software development. But at the beginning, there's a lot, and then it reduces down over time. For scaling issues, we had to gain expertise. We did not have enough expertise in that area, so we gained it, and we totally revamped some systems. So big overhaul on a few systems, but we now have scaling under control, and we were able to scale to about 5 to 7,000 nodes, and then our systems just couldn't handle it, and so we had to just completely overhaul it. And so now we can scale to tens of thousands, maybe 100,000 nodes without any real problems, I think. And as we make more of the peer-to-peer, as we develop that and mature those kind of technologies too, that'll allow us to scale infinitely. So, and then extreme competition. This was totally my fault. I didn't anticipate the competition. I didn't anticipate the adoption and the drive, and because we ran this whole thing in beta for months without it really having very many problems, just because there were 100 nodes or whatever. It wasn't a. But then when competition came in, all of the, it revealed the problems that were underlying. So there were lots of competition. We had to weed the garden, essentially. And what that ended up looking like was developing this staking plus predictions hybrid approach. Our proof of work, we knew it wasn't totally robust, but it definitely wasn't robust for this kind of competition. It was robust for good actors, but not anything else. So we realized, okay, well, what we need is to put a gate of staking, and then have the proof of work kind of handle everything out after we let the people in through the staking mechanism. So, and that seems to be a really good solution. I think it's really good. So, eventually, by the way, eventually that staking will go away, and the proof of work will be able to handle it. But for right now, the staking is like training wheels. And so anyway, there you go. And if anybody has anything, you can jump in at any time. But so that's where we are. We're this little green thing, and where are we going? Well, everybody wants to grow up to reach their full potential. So this is what Satori is looking at. We are trying to grow up, become a big tree, and reach the canopy. So I think we should talk a little bit about our ultimate goal. The video that's online kind of outlines a very broad roadmap of, if you've seen it, of future prediction open to the masses. That's the main goal, is how do we make future prediction available to everybody on Earth for free and just really easy to, whatever, right? Free and open prediction of the future. And that's kind of the main goal. But what does that actually mean, like under the hood? Like what does that translate to? And what I think it is a future predicting protocol. We're trying to develop the way to talk about the future for machines, essentially. We're trying to develop a way for machines to talk about the future efficiently and effectively. And that's a protocol, and the way I see it, like, that's like the top of the canopy. That's like our ultimate goal is a future predicting protocol. And I guess to give a little more detail about what that means to me, I kind of think of all these systems, blockchain systems, just online platforms, any kind of communication system, any kind of communication technology. I think of them as capturing a particular type of protocol, a particular type of information that flows across that system. So, like Amazon has done a really good job at capturing the protocol of online, product sales or whatever, right? And eBay tried to do it before them, developed the protocol, said, okay, well, every product gets its own page, and then we need some information here about its specifications. We probably want an image. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is that over time, they developed this way of uh, communicating about something. YouTube captured like long form video, and TikTok captured short form video, and those are different ways of communicating. And the medium is the message, so they have different implications and all that. And then you can look at like blockchain protocols, and Bitcoin tries to capture cash online. It really better captures long-term store value, most likely. And so anyway, I think of all these blockchain systems as capturing a protocol of communication as well. And so what is the protocol that we're trying to capture? It's how should computers talk to each other about the future? And what they're going to be doing at the beginning of this protocol, as we develop it, is they're just sharing the predictions, the raw predictions of the future. And so, as you know, there's really no system or platform that's developing this protocol yet. And so that's one of our advantages, is that we're kind of a first mover in developing this protocol. So we need to move fast, because I think it's a gem that other systems haven't really figured out. I mean, we have things like BitTensor, and they kind of have a more broad protocol about talking about just building models in a distributed fashion. And so we do have other projects that are kind of like ours, but I don't think any approaches it from our perspective, kind of focusing on high level prediction communication. Okay, anyway. So anyway, that's what we're trying to get to. That's our ultimate goal, is we want to be the best at being able to describe this, and we're developing the way in which to describe this. So anyway, sorry, maybe that was too long-winded. Oh, well, there you go. Right. Okay. Here's, I guess, a bottom line: how machines negotiate the future. As we talk about different things everywhere, we sort of come into a consensus on the most efficient and most best way to talk about those things, and so it kind of falls into a valley of efficiency or whatever. So anyway, there you go. Now, to get to that goal, I think we have to develop two basic systems, or two basic aspects of Satori. And one of them is the network itself. So the network being the blockchain, also being the community of miners that are operating on the blockchain, basically the network, like the entire thing. And the other one, well, there you go. There's, sorry, I didn't really practice this. The description of the network, blockchain community, and making it a decentralization, like always going towards that goal of decentralization. And the other one is the AI engine itself. How should the AI engine inside each neuron work to better predict the future? Should it be just next time step like we're doing right now? Should it be a forecast of future predictions? All that kind of stuff has to be developed and decided. The AI engine has to improve. And that's automated future forecasting, ML, and AI, right? Okay. And along the way, we might have some ancillary goals, things that will help us get to the protocol, but also are useful things in and of themselves. So for instance, just as one example, we could take some time to focus on making the neuron itself a useful tool for people who want to use it for their own data, kind of self-hosted AI prediction of the future. And I think that's a very good goal along the way to this ultimate goal of protocol, because that also helps with decentralizing, making prediction of the future available to everybody for free, is making it a tool that you could actually use. And that could be something like, oh, I'm a data scientist and I kind of know what I'm doing, and I want to go in and pull all the levers and whatever. So there's that route of making it a tool that people can use, but there's also the route of making sure it's always got an aspect of automation, so that if you're not an AI scientist and whatever, you can just turn it on, make sure your data is flowing to it, and that's it, right? As long as you can handle that, then it's your own personalized future forecasting AI bot. So, um, so just to recap, oh, well, maybe not. Let's go through. I think I have a couple more slides. I do have kind of a roadmap. It's very general. Just to kind of reiterate that along this path, we're going to be improving the AI engine and improving the network itself. And so let's look at what maybe some of those roadmaps should look like. So we have, on the AI engine, right now, we have the prototype. We have the prototype created. It makes automated models. It's very basic and simple, but it always runs. It's automated. It's good. And on the network side, we have very basic blockchain integration. So next, as we grow over time, we're going to be adding more algorithms to the AI engine, more GPU integration, more deep neural nets, just better stuff. And on the network side, our next step is better visibility, making sure everything is auditable, making sure everything can be seen. That's kind of our main focus over there. And after we kind of get some algorithms in there, we'll probably want a distribution over the future. The future is hard to see, so we'll probably get to the point where we're like, well, we're not just going to predict the next moment. We actually want to predict many moments into the future at all times. So I anticipate that's where we'll probably go over there. And on the network side, we'll get more smart contracts, not just auditability, but more guarantee that it works according to how it should. And eventually, we'll get to the point where we have the latest deep neural nets, LLM, transformers, all that kind of stuff to predict. And on the network side, we'll probably have something like Satori chain, some kind of, I don't know what that's going to look like. This is very fuzzy, but it's out in the future, very far in the future. Whether that's our own blockchain or our own set of smart contracts on some platform, that side will continue to develop forever, because we're eventually going to get to the point where it's fully decentralized, and with the AI engine and with the LLM layers, we'll be able to talk directly to a decentralized future entity, right? A chatbot or whatever. So just to kind of reiterate that really quickly, some of the milestones that I see, and this is mostly focusing on the engine, is we built the prototype. That's what we already did. We did a beta launch first, and then we did a launch. And up till that point, that's about 2 years of work. And we're going to start focusing on the low entropy prediction stuff, predicting the low-hanging fruit, easy stuff. And then we're going to probably focus on multivariate. And that is basically having multiple streams that we're predicting, because really there's two kinds of patterns that we have to learn, the engine has to handle, and that we have to communicate over the network. We have to learn the patterns in a particular data stream in each one. And we also have to learn the patterns across data streams. How does this data stream correlate with all the other data streams that it kind of does correlate with? And all of those patterns are contextual, so they come in and they come out and they evolve over time. And we're really trying to predict the evolution. So we start with kind of the low-hanging fruit is saying, hey, look, I've got a data stream that is very regular. It's got a lot of cycles in it. It's very circular. I can predict it. I can predict it pretty well, pretty easily. And so it's got a lot of patterns in itself, in its own data stream, that are pretty strong. And then we start to focus on the multivariate, where we say, well, this data stream may look pretty chaotic, but it's really highly correlated with this other data stream, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and then we can approximate their correlations within their context and eventually get to that. So anyway, multi-stream, we might sum up that with just saying multi-stream. And then we get to the point where we're saying, well, we need to build a meta model. We need to build we need to build a meta model in each neuron that says this neuron learns how to build models about these things in this way. And so we're now building a model that's predicting how to build models. Anyway, so, and then we get to the point where we have really advanced stuff like latent pooling and other technologies. And I think finally we get to the point, this is a ways out there, where we're saying, okay, we've already been predicting the low entropy stuff, but now we're going to finally feel like we've achieved our goal of predicting all public metrics. You know, everything that's public data that's important to everybody, and that includes high entropy things like prices. So eventually we'll get to that point. And after that, we can say a lot of these milestones, I mean, their development is happening overlapping each other, but we can say after that, the fruition of the market will come into place, where we say, if you're running a Satori neuron and you've developed a lot of expertise, now we have a marketplace where you can kind of sell that expertise by selling predictions, not just making open and public predictions, but also saying, for private entities, if you want something predicted and only shared with you, we have a marketplace for that. So that's the goal. And then ultimately, and this one will just continue forever, and that's the mandate of the association, is that we continue to make it decentralized more and more and more. That's kind of like something you just have to keep doing forever. So anyway, that's why the association exists, is to be able to push that to decentralization forever. So anyway, that's kind of the milestones as I see them, mostly focusing on how the technology will evolve. And that's basically all I have at this point. I just wanted to kind of give an overview of maybe where we've been for the past few months and where we're going over the next several years.